So how long you been doing this?
I've been doing this going on 2 years now, Dave. So it's
Wow,
been a blessing, and I love what I do every day. You know what I mean?
that's cool.
Yes, sir. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Health and Wealth Show. As you know, I am your host, Henry Aaron Westbrooks, and today we've got a remarkable guest with us. And I say that because you all know how much I love the industry of real estate. Our guest today is a member of the Arizona, Scottsdale, and National Association of Realtors. His name is Dave Panozzo. Dave Panozzo has flipped over 40 homes, and you may have even seen him on national television on ABC's show, The American Dream. He's got big publications featured in Yahoo Finance, Business Insider, Markets Watch, and plenty more. And the reason he's on so many lists with so many accolades is because he's truly a unique leader in the real estate community. He's utilized and continues to utilize social media and technology as a digital resume. And he makes the client experience number one as priorities when it comes to his company. So it's truly a pleasure to have Dave Panozzo on the show. Dave, thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you for having me on. This is awesome.
100%, man. Honestly, just wanted to check in with you before we get too deep into things. How are you doing right now with everything going on in the economy? You feeling all right? You hanging in there? You safe?
I'm healthy, I'm safe, but I will tell you, it's been challenging, everything that's going on with the COVID-19 thing right now.
Tell us about that.
Well, depending upon if you're that individual that watches a lot of news, you're going to get yourself freaked out. Okay. And I'll be honest, that first week when it kicked off, I think it was like Wednesday or Thursday when the market just completely tanked.
Right.
I was kind of glued to the TV because going into that week before, they started really talking about, hey, it's starting to spread in the United States. And, it was no longer overseas. It was in our backyard. And I remember watching someone said, oh my God, the market's crashing down. Oh, no shit. I flipped on one of the business channels just to watch what was going on. And I tell you what, man, I got sucked down into that whirlwind of going, oh my God, the sky is falling. Okay. And then it was like 2 or 3 days of like, oh my God, what's going on? I got totally wrapped up in what the media spins. Now take in mind, this is 100% the real deal. Okay. This isn't, fake news. Okay. This is something that's serious. But what I noticed was I was taking in so much negativity that between my wife, because my wife and I were both in this together, we both got a little sidetracked. And by that Saturday, Sunday, we said enough is enough. I'm all done. I'm not going to do this to myself and get sucked into this just horrific negativity of everything. Yeah, I want to be educated. I want to make sure I'm doing the right things to be safe. And I want to have some knowledge of, okay, what's going on in the world, but I'm not going to get sucked into it. And at that point, that's when we decided, okay, let's put the blinders on. Let's keep just a finger on the pulse of what's going on, on the national level and state level, so that we're doing the right things and not being completely oblivious to, talking to people. But that was the turning point. So I would say I put myself in the shitter for about maybe a week in getting just, sucked into it. Other than that, we made an immediate pivot and we went all in, and we haven't looked back since. So,
wow.
Yeah.
That's powerful, man, and that is definitely a testimony to anybody and everybody listening. I know our listeners right now needed to hear that, because regardless of the industry and the situation that you're in, everyone needed to adapt, right? Everyone needed to essentially go through that turmoil and decide and determine what they're going to do and become
right
process and after. So looks like, you haven't let this stop you.
Well,
And
no, and you know, I've been through two other major deals. Okay,
got it.
I'm 52 years old. Okay, so I've seen some stuff. I remember when 9/11 happened. Okay, 9/11, horrific. That was just you. I don't even like talking about it because that was just so unbelievable of what happened. At the time, I was in the car business, and after that event, it was like crickets. Like, think about, you know, our economy, everything just completely shut down. I don't know, 3 4 months, and then all of a sudden General Motors came out with 0% to get America rolling again, and that's when we came out of that deal. Okay, I remember what that was like. I remember everyone just completely froze in their path. And then with the crash of 2008, you know, that was just an ongoing thing that got us to where, you know, the system broke. And then that after effect, I mean, my wife and I, we lost everything. We were completely devastated. And that was another scenario where, you know, we recoiled and got into a reactive mindset and having to play defense of all the negative stuff that was going on, foreclosure, you know, losing we had a couple rental properties, we lost those. I mean, it was just, you know, you're backed into a corner and you're just like trying to fight it out. Where learning from all those experiences, and then with this one, I'm like, I got to go on the offense. I'm not playing defense, because when you're playing defense, it's kind of tiring. You know, you get broken down, you get worn down. And so I'm like, nope, I'm going on offense. I'm going on offense on this deal. And I forget who I heard it from, an influencer or somebody. They said, let's not waste a good crisis. And you know what? It was Grant Cardone. It was Uncle G. Uncle G said that. He goes, do not waste a good crisis. And, you know, to the average Joe, that's kind of hard for some. What do you mean don't waste a good crisis? Well, this is where incredible stuff is figured out. This is where entrepreneurs really go to the next level. And you know, when I heard that, it just made me reaffirm, put the blinders on and just go and go. And it's tough, man. I'm worn out. I mean, you know, when you're on offense all the time, it can wear a guy out, you know, and you got to be careful, because you don't want to get yourself so worn down that you can't think straight, you know. So it's a little bit of all of it, I think, sometimes too, when dealing with that. And yeah, it's been intense the last few weeks.
Got it, dude. I mean, honestly, that's something that makes me it brings me to a lot of questions. That's something that makes me think. And, you know, you brought up a lot of points throughout what you were saying there, Dave. And real quick, just for our listeners, I want them to get a real background on you. And by the way, I love this setup right there, guys. Go ahead and smash the like button, hit the subscribe button if you guys like Dave's setup right there, because this is definitely top 10 setups right here. So look at it's official. Go ahead and follow him on Instagram at the Panozzo team. I know he's working with his wife. Dave, just like I was saying though, please give us some background, give us a quick synopsis on where you really started at. Where did you come from? What's going on currently? And then what do you got coming up? If you could summarize that for us.
How deep you want me to go back to my first sales job?
That would be great, actually, because
all right,
a lot of people are in that position right now.
So I got out of the military. I got out of the Army in 91. My wife was in the Air Force. She got out in 92. When we got out of the service, we were freaking out, because it was like, you know, you're leaving mom and dad's house. There's no more guaranteed paychecks or anything like that. So
right.
I got my first sales job. It was selling, this will, you know, date me now. Okay. We sold pictures in grocery stores. So when you would walk through the front door of a grocery store, I would say, hey, I'd like to give you one. And they'd be like, what's this? I'd be like, hey, you get a free 10x13 with a $5 sitting fee. We're scheduling for appointments next week. And so people would sign up. bring the whole family, $5, you get this big 10 by 13 photo. And when they would come back, my wife would be there saying, well, here's your free 10 by 13, but what about this whole collection for, $349? And so you would have to upsell them on the free gift. That's where we officially cut our teeth in sales. Okay. And looking back on it and talking about that, I mean, obviously that business model wouldn't work at this day and age because, everything's digital. But, that was my first hand-to-hand combat with one-on-one sales and how to be quick and be on your toes and be able to combat the negativity or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
Fast forward, was in the car business for about 10, 15 years, give or take. Worked my way through the ranks, got into management. That's a crazy business. That, once again, that's the last of the gladiators, hand-to-hand combat, in sales. Got out of the car business. I was flipping homes. My wife got her license. I never had my license yet. So I started flipping homes. She would list them. We did okay with that. The market crashed, reinvented myself. The bank-owned industry of homes that were being foreclosed, I ended up creating a construction company to be able to help the back end with realtors that had bank-owned properties. So like doing trash outs, rekeys, painting, things like that. Got back into flipping. Not the right partnerships. And take in mind, guys, all these businesses, wrong partners, bad partners, not knowing what I was doing, not being, methodical in making sure to ask the right questions of when teaming up with someone to partner on stuff. And then it just got to a point to where enough was enough. My wife for almost 10 years said, you would be great if you had your real estate license. And then of course, one day I'm like, hey, I think I'm going to get my real estate license. And she's like, that's a fucking great idea. So got my license 4 years ago and we have not looked back since. So I've taken, she was an agent for about 14 years solo. Phenomenal job, like unbelievable. She has probably the best work ethic of anyone. Like I'm good, but I'm not as good as her when it comes to work ethic. And so, now that we've teamed up, she's basically processes, systems on the back end, contracts, things like that. I'm on the other side. I'm on the marketing. How can we create sales? What can we do to be different? What can we do to make ourselves stand out in doing things like podcasts, social media, and really getting a presence on the internet? When someone Googles,
Yes.
Panozzo team, what do they see? Because what people don't realize, everyone thinks in different industries, okay, yes, that business model works if you're selling skinny tea and, you go out to the masses. Real estate's a little different, okay? Because not everyone wants to buy or sell or get, hey, you want to buy or sell? You want to buy or sell? So my concept with social media is that's our living, breathing resume. And so I want to make sure things are very relevant across all the platforms so that when someone does run across us or we're interviewing and they go to do the old Panozzo team, what are they going to see? Are they going to see a super active on one platform and crickets on the other? Are they going to see that we have a Google presence, that we have reviews? Are they going to see if things are up to date? And so I look at social media, the internet, as our living, breathing resume that you never know who's looking. You never know who is, out having cocktails with buddies and they're like, hey, this Panozzo team, they really treated me good. Oh, who's that? Oh, let me see who that is. You know what I mean? And so now here's someone else looking at your information. You want to make sure your stuff is right and tight at all times. And that's one thing that has kind of gotten us, I just covered a whole lot of stuff there, but that's where we're at today, and trying to make a little cut in that market share here in Phoenix and
Yes, sir.
Scottsdale.
Yes, sir. Wow. That's great, man. That's greatness right there. Really, really awesome right there. So appreciate you for sharing that all with us. Dave, now I was going through your Instagram and it's lit.
Thank you.
All right, that's what we say. It's lit. And there were a few videos and there were a few posts that really caught my eye that intrigued me. So allow me to ask you a few questions
Sure.
regarding some of the content that you've already got out there. And make sure, again, guys, you follow Dave at the Panozzo team. I'm going to link the description and all the social media links in the description here. I'm going to put all of his bio information down below. If you're on YouTube, you make sure you can just see it on the screen. If you're on our digital platforms, guys, follow suit. And if you like what you've been listening to so far, give us a 5-star review, drop a comment, let us know what you think, let us know how you feel. Now, Dave, going back to the questions, and this is when I know it's going to really pick up here. Do you think that, or do you believe that in real estate, it's better to be a buyer or a seller agent? And why?
Is it better to be a buyer or seller? I
And
think
for those of people wondering, could you clarify?
well, I think you have to be good at both. Okay.
Okay.
There are some that are strictly listing agents that all they want to do is list. Okay, that's great. But at this day and age, you have to be able to do a little bit of all of it, especially with the clientele that are out there. And hey, some of the old school guys and gals, that works for them. But at this day and age, a lot of people need someone that can do all of it. And that's what I find. You have to be diversified and you have to be good at a little bit of all of it. Hey, are you going to be better in some areas? Sure. But at the end of the day, people buy and sell all the time.
Yeah, I got it. So there's your answer for that, people. There's really no right or wrong or one that's better than the other. Take it from Dave, the professional. If you're in real estate, if you're getting your license, if you're in the process of getting your license, or if you're on the fence of should you be a listing agent, should you be a buyer's agent, who should you represent, just get good at both of them. It's that simple. So, Dave, on a lot of your posts, you spit a lot of fire, and you say a lot of things that are compelling. You know, you talk about your why, you know, and overcoming things. So let's talk about what is your why, because I know a few of the posts hinted at it, and I know I was watching with the wife. You two really do get a thrill and a fulfillment out of this. However, I want to know, you know, from you, Dave, what is your why in doing what you do?
I mean, you know, I'm at a point now to where I'm thinking legacy type stuff.
Got it.
Okay. You know, the fast cars, the big houses. Okay. Yeah. That is some cool shit. Do I want faster cars and bigger houses? Yes. But that doesn't define me. Okay. And I feel now that, I mean, shit, I'm a grandpa. Okay. And, you know, what does this look like for my kids and my grandkids? You know, what am I leaving behind for them? As far as, you know, are they going to go on YouTube, you know, and say, oh man, check out great grandpa Dave and look how crazy he was. And look how he made an impact on the world or in real estate or as a human being and helping others, you know? And I think that that's kind of where I'm at. The money's cool. Trust me. More is always better. Okay. But I think now I'm at a point to where it's like, what am I leaving behind? What's the legacy part of this look like? And that's a really cool mindset, because when you're young and you're hustling, it's all about the money all the time. Okay. and in wanting that prestige or you know, the old attaboy and stuff. I could give two shits about all that stuff right now. To me, it's about what am I going to leave behind for my family, and that makes me feel really good inside. That really all I'm doing this is my why is for my family.
So throughout your life, then the why has sort of switched, or it's kind of transformed in a way, or
Oh, sure. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I think that's normal. I
yeah,
think, you know, if you're single, you know, you're going to have certain whys. You get married, okay, certain whys. Now you start having kids. Your kids start having kids. You know, you get older. You know, I think things will change as it goes on. Hey, there's some people that are like so focused that why is always the same, you know, throughout. I think there's, you know, certain people in the past that we can probably look back on and say, oh yeah, that guy was super focused. But I think it's okay to go through an evolution of change of what your true why is.
well, yeah, that's actually key because that ties right into my next question for you, which is, and it's about adapting. And you started off our interview today with how you've adapted to the current COVID-19 thing, and you've talked about how you've adjusted throughout the two huge issues like 9/11, et cetera. I just want to know though, what is your overall perspective on adapting? You know, and some advice you have for people in any situation right now when it comes to adapting the mindset and things like that.
Well, you have to overcome whatever it is that you're dealing with. And to reflect back, it's kind of like, you know, I've been hearing this a lot lately. It's like, oh, I just can't wait for things to go back to normal. Okay, well, guess what? We're not going back to normal. Today is the new normal. How are you adjusting to it? And I think so many times we get hung up on how things were in the past. It forces us to have to level up or adjust. So now we're in a position to where we're uncomfortable. And most people that are uncomfortable don't like that feeling because they're uncomfortable. And so it's just a domino effect. And I think the sooner you get comfortable with being uncomfortable, there you go. And that's a tough, hey, if you don't like, you know, if you have if you don't like heights and you are standing on the edge of a building or you're going skydiving, yeah, that's going to make you feel really uncomfortable. But if you go skydiving and you overcome that fear of heights, well, now you've gotten comfortable with being uncomfortable. No different in anything else. If you're not satisfied with the way you look and you need to lose weight, well, guess what? You're going to get uncomfortable working out, getting your butt kicked, sweating, not seeing results instantly. And I think that's the other thing is that people all of a sudden they want to make a difference, and they're like, well, on Monday I'm going to start working out, or I'm going to start doing this, or I'm going to start doing that. They do it for 2 days in a row. They don't get any results. They get crapped out, and they're like, well, that didn't work. So it's ongoing.
True.
Like,
It's so true.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, so that right there sums up for everybody listening. You need to be able to adapt, overcome the challenges, put in the work, be patient, because at the end of the day, instant gratification shouldn't be your goal. It shouldn't be your intention to be instantly gratified, guys. And I know that you've had to put a lot of work in, and I know you've had to put in a lot of time. You probably had a lot of late nights and early mornings, and that's part of the grind. That's part of the sacrifices that it takes to get in a position where you're at. Dave, you've got such a unique story, man. You know, can you just share with us how it's been working with your wife? Because I know for some people, this is a controversial thing. Should you mix, business with pleasure or whatever the case may be?
Right.
whereas for you, it's somewhat been an asset, I would believe. So I just want you to elaborate and talk about that and the power.
Well, you know, we've been married for 29 years.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
So we've been through ups, we've been through downs, we've been through just, a ton of stuff. And 15, 20 years ago, absolutely not. We would have killed each other. Okay. And I think what has happened is we have now figured out we know what she is strong and has strengths in. I know what I'm strong and have strengths in. We do not say to one another, well, I wish you could be like me. Well, if that was the case, then we wouldn't be who we are. And, I get a lot of guys going, how the hell do you work with your wife? Like, I can't even handle being with her for a long weekend. It's like, come on, guys, it's teamwork, and I think what happens is that in marriages and things, we pick up a lot of bad habits from our parents. Okay. And if our parents picked up bad habits from their parents, now all of a sudden you have like 3 generations of bad habits that are now applied to this new marriage. And until you realize what's right and what's wrong and what's indifferent and how to work together, it's tough. Okay. And so that's why I'm saying we've gone through hell and back, and we're now at a point to where we know each other's strengths and weaknesses, and we make up for a weakness or a strength to be able to work together as a team. And yeah, we're not perfect by any means. Especially now with being in lockdown mode. I mean, we kind of joke. It's like, well, it's you and me, it's like, we're just here together where, I'm seeing a lot of people on social media going, I can't wait to, go back to normal and things like that. We before the COVID-19 thing kicked off, we would schedule a date night and do things like that and try to have some normalcy, so to speak. But when you're both really driven, it's hard to go out to eat and not talk about real estate or not talk about how to make the business better. So, once again, you learn from mistakes. You try to have that time set aside to be husband and wife. And then there's other times where you crank it up and you're partners and you just drive. And so we've kind of found that sweet spot, which is cool.
That's so special, man. That's really special.
Yeah.
That's really something special. I think that, I believe that most people truly would like that. You know what I mean? I believe that people would appreciate they would appreciate having a partner like that. So don't take that for granted if you do have it, all of my listeners. So that's really cool, man. And I was watching a few of your posts, and I know you're super successful. Now, one thing I love about what you say is the concept of ROR versus ROI. And our listeners know what ROI means. And if you're new here and you don't know, ROI is your return on investment. However, Dave has an enlightened and, in my opinion, an elevated perspective on the whole deal here, where he talks about ROI versus ROR. Dave, what does this mean?
Well, ROR is return on relationship. And I have a really good friend. He is the CEO of the American Dream TV, which is a TV show that we're a part of. And the creator and founder of this, Craig Sewing, he completely changed my mind on what ROR versus ROI, and really has made an impact on my life. So I have to definitely give him a shout out for sure. But that return on relationship is old school, shaking someone's hand, looking them in the eye and going, hey man, how are you doing? What's going on? What can I do to help you get your business to the next level? What can I do to make your life easier? What can I do to help you out with that problem? And I think we have gotten so completely lost and scatterbrained with TV, media, social media, just all of it, that we have kind of forgotten about that true relationship type building. because think about it. Nowadays, you get someone texting you. You have conversations through text messaging. It's like, that's not really personable. You want to hear someone's voice inflections. You want to hear how they're actually doing and ask them a real question versus, conversation and text. It's not personable. And I think that's a lost art form. And I think if you take some of the old school ways and mirror them with technology, ooh, that's where that magic starts to happen. And I think that's what makes you different, especially in a marketplace like today.
Great. So, I mean, yeah, that's huge right there, because I'm a big believer in, social capital, linking up with the right people, networking.
Yeah.
All of that is super important, and investing in relationships. I was just talking to someone yesterday about that. It's so key to be investing into your relationships. And that brings us to our next point. It ties into our next point, where you're in the business of real estate. You're flipping homes, man. Now,
used to flip.
we're taking it back a minute. We're taking it back. We're flipping homes. That's an entrepreneurial endeavor. That's a grind, if you will. That's something that not everybody will take on because they perceive it to be just massive, and it's just a good project. So what kind of person does it take, and what kind of person were you during that time when you just decided, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and take these risks and jump into a business where there could be some loss, there's no certainty, and things like that, because a lot of people are afraid to do that and to take that jump and that step forward.
Hey, hold on one second. Hold on.
Oh yeah, no problem. Hey guys, Dave is taking a quick break. If you haven't already, follow me on Instagram at Henry Aaron Westbrooks. Check out the website, henryaaron.com, and make sure you follow our guest at the Panozzo team as well. Check out his YouTube, check out his articles, look up the show, American Dream on NBC, or excuse me, on ABC. And again, if you like what you've been watching, if you like what you've been hearing, drop a comment, give us some feedback. And as well, suggest some future topics that we should talk about so we can help you out in all of your endeavors. If you haven't already, download the Robinhood app, link below, and get yourself some free stock. It's literally a free app. You can download it straight to your phone. Once you click the link, you'll get a free stock such as Microsoft, Apple, Ford, Facebook, and in the process, we are actually both getting a stock. So it's a mutual benefit. And Dave, welcome back with us.
Thank you. So yeah, flipping, crazy business.
Eliminating fear, being an entrepreneur, the mindset, the characteristics, and the overall energy that it takes.
Yeah, I mean, with flipping, you're taking some risk,
right?
Because you're buying a home that you think is worth X amount of money if you fix it up. And so not only are you tying up cash, you're putting cash into the project. And take in mind, you can be doing a hard money loan or have an investor that you're working with. And once again, there's a lot of unforeseens. And so going into it with the mindset of, hey, this is what I could make. This is my worst case. And here's my ultimate worst case, which is a loss. And so you kind of go into that knowing where you're at and just executing. And, out of that 48 homes, I made some good profits. Yeah, I broke even. And yeah, I lost. And so it kind of all comes out at the end. And I think the flipping for me made me learn how to be very cost efficient in making sure my systems were in place to be able to keep track of what was going on. Not having contractors and subcontractors, take advantage of me. making sure I was able to get the right people to work for me, because not all the time is the cheapest guy the best. So yeah, did I pay my guys a little more than maybe the other guy? Yeah, but I knew that my guys would show up on time and get the job done. And to me, time is money. And I would much rather have a project on time versus come in under budget and be a month or 60 days later down the road. So that really, flipping really helped me understand working with subcontractors, working with others, how to treat people. Because when you walk on a job site and you motherfuck someone into a coma because they suck, doesn't typically help the situation at that point, okay? And it really helped me understand how to wrap my arm around someone and say, hey, Henry, remember the other day we talked about that you would start the job on Monday and be done on Thursday? Well, it's Saturday morning, so what's going on, buddy? Are you okay? And find out what's really going on here. Is there something, could I have done something different? Is there something else you need help with? Or did you just not estimate properly your time and money and blah, blah, blah. So that really helped me with my personal skills to be able to work with others. That really did. Great learning experience.
That's actually really good. Yeah, so it sounds like you did come out of your comfort zone then. That was something that really did take you out of your comfort zone, which we talked about earlier in this podcast, where that's where true growth is actually formed. Now, you've recognized the importance of creating a digital presence, or what we like to call a digital footprint.
Sure.
How much of, let's say, your industry do you see capitalizing on the opportunity? Are you, like one of the first, would you say, or did you see somebody doing it and you're like, that's what I need to do? Or do you believe you're on the cutting edge? To me, it seems like you're on the cutting edge. It seems like you're ahead of time. It seems like you're doing things that most agents and people in that industry just aren't doing. So, number one, how did you notice that you need, like, how did you realize that you should be on the internet and dominate on the internet? Because a lot of people don't recognize that. Number two, what steps have you had to take to adjust to your business model, right? Like, how have you had to switch from traditional methods of work? And then number three, where do you see the industry going now that everything's become digital?
Okay, those are three loaded questions. First one is, this industry is, we don't have to reinvent the wheel in this industry. So if you just look at, say, the top 10, top 20, top 50 agents in the United States and emulate one or two things that they're doing, the cheat sheet's already been written, okay? Unless you come up with some brainiac idea on some new way to buy a home through your cell phone or something, or some, something crazy that would be a complete game changer. Okay, I get it. It's like Elon Musk trying to go to Mars, okay? Like, if you can come up with some concept like that, good for you. But for the most part, it's already being done. You don't have to reinvent. The cheat sheets are already out there. And for a guy like myself, if there's someone out there that's just getting started, if you completely cheat off of what I have done, go for it. You know what I mean? Like, there's no patents, there's no rules in terms of Ryan Serhant or some of these great, unbelievable guys that are out there. You can basically follow what they're doing and do it yourself. The problem is that most people don't, because it's work, and because overnight success is 10, 15, 20, 30 years. And when you tell a 25-year-old dude, hey man, you're going to be uber successful in 20 years from now, you'll be almost 50. They're like, I want the glory now, man. I want the cash. I want I want to get paid today. Well, it doesn't happen that way. And so now all of a sudden people are like, oh my God, you guys are doing a great job. And, it seems like you've only been doing this a short time. Oh my God. Well, no, I've got my dick kicked in for 20 some years. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like this just happened overnight. I've failed a bunch of times. I've had some success. I've lost a lot of money. I've gone through ups and downs. I've gone through hell to get to this point. And then you're going to tell me that you've tried one or two things that I've suggested and it didn't work. So now you're going to throw your hands in the air and pout? Suck it up, buttercup.
Yeah. I mean,
that's that. What was your second question?
Second question is basically, how have you started to use the internet in your business to give you an advantage? I mean, you're taking advantage of podcasts. You're doing, digital streams. What else?
I mean, internet-wise, social media-wise, that's all of it. Anything that you can do to better yourself or to put yourself out in front of more people, take advantage of it. I mean,
yeah.
All this stuff is free. A majority of the stuff that's available out there is free. Okay. If you're going to set up a podcast, you have to buy equipment, you have to do things. Yeah, there's a cost to that. But in the grand scheme of things, you can talk to 1 million people. You can get in front of 1 million faces for what? Nothing. But you have to be consistent. Doing one podcast is not going to make you a rock star like a Joe Rogan. Okay. You're not going to also, oh my God, Dave Panozzo, did you hear that one podcast? He's amazing. No. And I think that's what happens. People will make the effort, do one or two things, and then be like, oh my God, this isn't working. I'm crapped out. I'm done. It's like, come on, dude. You're just getting started.
Facts. All facts. Dave Panozzo.
I'm an analogy guy. That's the equivalent of me giving you a shovel saying, I need you to dig a 10-foot long ditch, 4 feet down, and you put the shovel in the ground twice and move 2 shovels of dirt, and you're like, I just can't do this. Like, seriously? Like, you're gonna get dirty. You're gonna get some blisters. You're gonna sweat. You're gonna get hurt. You're gonna go through this stuff. And I think that's the biggest thing. People are scared to get hurt. They're scared to try because of failure. And once again, once you become comfortable with being uncomfortable, failures aren't that big of a deal. Because I have failed so many times in different ways that shit just doesn't matter anymore. I'm kind of numb to it in a weird way. And I think that's the biggest thing. It's okay. You fall down, you get back up. I mean, hey, we were all infants at one time, little toddlers walking around falling. Remember, you see little kids fall all the time and they cry, but they don't quit because now they're adults and they're walking, So, keep it simple. Keep it simple. Your third question was our industry. Where's it going?
Yes, sir.
Who knows? All I know is my blinders are on. Regardless of what goes on in our industry, the client is number one. The client is number one at all times. We have to take care of the clients. So many times, the misdirection of the sales of real estate, what happens is the agents get involved, the title people get involved, you have lenders, you have all these people. At the end of the day, all these other people, it doesn't matter because it's the client. You have to take care of the client at all times or at all costs to make sure that their experience is just phenomenal. Because at this day and age, people have too many choices. I mean, you can Google real estate agents and get 10 million of them. I mean, it's really easy, but you have to take care of them. And I don't care what the other agents, so many times, people forget to take care of the client. And I have to remind other people of that. It's all about our clients and taking care of them. What a trivial concept.
Who would have thought?
Wow. Number one, take care of client. Number two, take care of client. Number three, take care of client. I mean, it really is that simple. And we get ourselves worked up and we get ourselves in the way of that sometimes, whether it be commission breath.
Yes.
The other agent pissed me off. The client pissed me off. I mean, you name it. We're basically glorified waiters, if you think about it.
It's crazy because you say things about 3 seconds before I'm going to say it, and then 3 seconds after I thought it. So it's like I don't even got to talk about it to bring it up because you just covered it. It's covered. It's already good. This man Dave is a legend. So you've used the internet to differentiate yourself. Now when people look you up, they're obviously going to find this, and that. They're going to see multiple links. And that's what helps you develop that credibility, that social authority, and that online presence that's going to ultimately win you more clients and more business. So that's key, man. And then I respect the hell out of that. That's cool. So a couple other things I have on my notes, man. And this is going to be on a lighter note. What do you do to stay happy, man? Just to stay kind of stress-free. What do you do to stay positive or in a good mood?
Stress-free. So I try to at least, when the gyms were open, obviously go to the gym at least 2 to 3 times a week. Do bike rides, go hiking. I mean, I live in Arizona, so the weather's typically gorgeous for 8-9 months out of the year. I feel it's important to be able to pause, take in a little Mother Nature, get yourself grounded, and have that type of a regiment, so to speak, because once again, like I've said this several times, I'm not perfect. Okay. I do go down the rabbit hole of not paying attention to myself sometimes, and I get put on the back burner, which then leads to I'm a grouchy, hard ass to deal with. I'm not getting good sleep. I'm not eating right, not working out. Well, guess what? I know that is a cocktail for either A, me getting super sick, me not being able to pay attention to details, me then bickering with my wife over dumb, stupid shit. And it all adds up. So I know that I have to do certain things throughout my day and throughout my week to make sure that I'm level-headed and I'm at my best, because number one, I have to perform at, a higher level to do what I do with clients, with my wife, for our business, with our teammates, the whole 9 yards.
That's so key. That's so key. So you're definitely in tune with your health, sounds like.
Yeah, absolutely. You have to.
At the beginning of the interview, you said, I am health. A man is health. That is the definition of health. So listen, I love this because you really have no filter, you know what I mean? And that's what people appreciate. And it's not a bad thing at all. You know what I'm saying? Because I can see the rawness in your delivery. I can feel the conviction in the things that you say. And that's what helps create an impact and an impression. And that's ultimately what has led you to be so successful, is that ability to really connect with people. Because we are dealing with people at all times. And some people do forget that. They have a superficial approach, etc. So I appreciate all your insight here. We're approaching an hour on the podcast. I mean, I could go on and on. I know your time is limited, so I do want to let you go, get back to your day. Now, before we do, though, is there anything else you want to share? You feel free to do that here now. And other than that, if there's anybody you wanted to give a special shout out to, you could do that too.
Well, definitely shout out to my wife. I mean, she's my ride and die partner, man. We have been, like I said, we have been through hell and back, and we've done some things, and we've experienced a lot of life stuff. And, to be partnered with someone, 29 years of marriage, to you guys and gals out there that that are either trying to find the right soulmate, or you've been married a couple years and you're like, God damn, 29 years with yeah, it's work. And I think you have to put the work in to get to that point. But I think, a great takeaway for everyone is don't buy into your own bullshit. Stop listening to the little voice in your head on why you can't do something. Stop surrounding yourself with the naysayers. Okay. Elevate your crowd that you're around. And don't listen to family, man. Sometimes family and friends, they're not going to steer you in the right direction, and you got to be careful with that. Just because of your mom and dad doesn't mean that they always have the best advice. And so, as always, try to level up your game and surround yourself with bigger thinking people. Okay, and don't be afraid to fail.
Yeah, that's literally all right here. I mean, that's practically it, guys. I got my notes. I hope you took notes. If you didn't take notes, just rewind the podcast, watch it again, because so much value was just provided. Dave Panozzo, truly an inspiration, truly an honor and a blessing to be able to have this time with you, man. Let me know if there's anything I can do for you in the future. God bless all your endeavors. And for everybody listening, as always, stay happy, stay healthy, stay wealthy, stay blessed, and focus on success. We'll see you in the next one.
All right.
Hey, Dave.